the work of an Iowa-based organization, Bailing Out Benji, kind of helped spark this investigation. Can you tell me about that?
That resolution filed in King County Superior Court requires the company to pay the state $3.75 million with interest.
Bailing Out Benji regularly looks through these records of dogs' movement from state to state.
Bailing Out Benji
played a key part in unraveling a nationwide puppy scheme.
Bailing Out Benji,
an organization that's been working across the country to stop the pipeline of puppy mill breeders.
Bailing Out Benji.
I will use my voice because they don't have one, and I will keep doing it until there are no more puppy mill dogs.
Welcome to this week's episode of Truth Lies in Puppy Mills. I'm Jelaine, here with Mindy, Alexis, Kristen, and we have some dog guests with us today, Bluey, Leia, and Spider, if you're watching on YouTube. We wanted to just take some time today to talk about how our gala went. So as of recording, our gala was this last Saturday, September 20th, and it was great, but let's...
Yeah, we're all still tired.
Yeah.
Still hungover a little bit in the exhaustion way, not the alcohol way.
Yeah. Yeah. Got everything put away yesterday.
Yeah.
Got some stuff shipped out today.
Talked about the things that went really well and things that we can improve upon. We always have a little recap afterwards. But
Yeah.
It was a great night.
Nice. Yeah, it was. I thought it was really, I love that our volunteers are all across the country. I hate that our volunteers are all across the country because I don't get to see them. We don't get to see them in person or interact with them in person as much. Yeah. So I was really excited on Saturday to see quite a few of our volunteers there. We even had a volunteer from Minnesota come in. We had people from all over Iowa. I'm trying to think, was there anyone else out of state there?
We had someone come in from Wisconsin. You met Megan from Colorado.
Oh yeah,
for a silent auction gift.
Yeah,
so she
before
wasn't
the
able
gala.
to attend. Yeah.
Man, it has been a volunteer-filled gala.
Yeah, it really was. And then we had some of our pet food pantry families come, and then we also had some of our volunteers for that come. So
yeah, it was really, really cool to see our volunteers there, and also our volunteers bringing their families and friends to come learn about us more and celebrate with us, which I thought was really neat.
And you met someone from Minnesota?
Yeah, Sarah from Minnesota. She's volunteered for us. Her and her husband were actually the first ones to buy tickets this year, and I told them that on Saturday. I was like, that made my entire day. You have no idea. So they got to come down. They also had one of their dogs featured in our Hall of Puppy Mill Survivors. So they got to see what the night was like, got to take home their dog's picture that night, and got to talk, with me, obviously. I'm so cool. Just kidding.
You are cool, Jolene.
Okay, just kidding. But with other volunteers too, and to hear Minnesota and Iowa are close, but they're different.
Right.
And so we have different types of outreach events here that are happening in Minnesota at the moment. So it's nice for our volunteers to have been able to talk to each other. And I don't know, that's why I also like that it's not assigned seating.
Yeah.
So we can kind of nudge our volunteers, when they're like, oh, where should I sit? Be like, have you met Tom? Who's a great person to introduce everyone to.
He's a great ambassador. Yeah.
So not at all gala related, but talk about what Michael and Sarah did for their wedding. Our Minnesota
for
volunteer,
their
Sarah.
wedding. They got married last October, so happy almost 1-year anniversary. They had their wedding guests, in lieu of gifts to them, send donations to us. So we made a really cute flyer for their wedding that it kind of explained who we were, why they support us, what that relationship's like, and in turn, that's, I don't know, I think that's so cool to celebrate your big day by doing that for a small organization.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool. The little things that you made up to give to their guests were really cool looking. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Alexis, you got to talk to her a little bit too, right?
Yeah. This was my first time meeting her. Cause like, well, my volunteer interactions are like with our Iowa ones and then like research people. But she did come up and like just after I'd talked about research at the gala, because we all did like a little panel discussion where we talked about our roles and what we do. But she just said she thoroughly enjoyed hearing about like our research. And so that's always really fun too for like our volunteers that maybe don't have that like insight into what we're doing on the research side to hear about that and be like, hey, this is really cool. It's like, yeah, thank you so much. Like, it's so nice of you. If you need anything while you're out, like just let me know, I'll get it to you. It's fine. Yeah, so that was nice too. It's nice to have our community come together at this gala for sure, especially when volunteers show up and we get to talk to them outside of events or not through a screen, which does happen. Even if we're like with our Iowa volunteers, it's kind of our main form of communication. So this is a great event for everybody to come together and get updates on like what we've been doing as well, because we do try to like communicate with volunteers, but sometimes it takes like really being there and being in the moment to like really see what we're doing and the impact of our organization along with the impact of our volunteers.
But also the camaraderie, like, so I would say it's kind of like even going to a conference with volunteers, like meeting in person, getting offline, you just are able to build a relationship, like that initial connection.
Absolutely.
And so it just automatically brings that to a different level, I think, which is so nice at the gala for us all to be together.
Yep. And the connections, like I love connection anyway, but I had somebody come up to me who was a guest of one of our sponsors. So I don't know how much they really knew about us before coming to the event, but was talking about after our panel discussion about how much they like the data and the data analysis and stuff, how much that speaks to them and the research and stuff. And so I told him to go find Robin, our volunteer of the year, who has helped us with our big online data research project. I'm like, oh, you need to go meet Robin and talk to her. And they connected and talked to each other. And so it's just that little bit of, even at an event that is for us, focused for us, we still have people who don't necessarily know as much about us that are still learning. Or even that day while we were setting up, I had people just walking through the building would stop and be like, wait, who are you? What do you do? And like, just so we're that kind of group that as soon as somebody hears about us and what we do, they're immediately like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Like, I'm so glad I know you're there. So, so that's fun. Just being able to connect people like that. Hopefully it leads to more interaction with us.
Well, it kind of already did, right? You said one of our sponsors of the night was already brainstorming ways that we can help in the future, or he can help us in the future.
Yep.
And so his company, we're not going to talk about any type of fundraiser because we don't know anything, but his company does something really specific. And he was like, maybe we do a referral program,
right?
Or, you get some donations based on our products. And so that was kind of neat. It's all of those different ways of people finding out how they fit into our world a little bit, which is so nice.
Yeah, we love that. And people, like, we can have ideas all day long, but it's really exciting to me when other people know their world. Like, I know the world I travel in, I know the skills I have. How can I use that to benefit Bailing Out Benji? Instead of us going to them and asking, hey, do you have any ways you can come alongside us, partner with us, or whatever? When we see people whose wheels are turning on their own in that direction of like, oh wait, I do have a sphere of influence, like I can bring Bailing Out Benji into that. And so that's always exciting and fun to see where those things lead.
Yeah, and at one point I asked the crowd like how many people were new to the gala. Not many, right? Like there were a few, but that showed a lot of these people are recurring. A lot of these people come every year, and I thought that was a good thing, but also a goal for the future, right? Maybe we get some new first timers coming, so they can get to experience who we are and what we do. But we had someone from last year. He's a friend of James, one of our sponsors. He came up this year and was like, well, last year you were talking about the work you guys are doing in the breeding communities. And he's like, you guys didn't touch on that this year. Is that something you're still working on? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then I was able to actually point to a table and say, you know, that big Great Dane, like that whole table is a bunch of breeders. That whole table, preservation breeders, they have like a different breed among them. Everybody kind of specializes in something. And I was like, but 5 years ago, we probably wouldn't have had people feeling comfortable coming to our gala and admitting that they are breeders.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like that we're kind of a safe space for a lot of people. We're a space that people can come together and say, yes, we hate puppy mills no matter what.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were at a new venue this year, and I felt like the venue fostered more of an ability to have conversations.
Yeah.
We had talked about, like, one of the things I had said was like, oh, it's a vibe. Yeah. Like, this building is a whole vibe. And I feel like the vibe kind of took over. Like, we had this idea to have the VIP reception. And like, my vision was, we'll be in this one room with the door closed. It'll be intimate. We'll all stand around with our cocktails talking like upscale people that we are or whatever. And it wasn't. It was like everybody was all throughout the building talking, having conversations in every corner, in every space. And it was like, part of me was like, oh, this is supposed to be like it. And then I was like, but this is awesome. Like, everyone here is having a great time. And they are very unconcerned with the fact that we are not having a reception. Like, it's just come and do what you want. And I think the space really gave it that more open, flowy, kind of informal feeling.
Yeah. I think that was one thing I think we all consistently heard was people really loved the new venue. We took a leap and it seems like it was a right one because, I think people really enjoyed the atmosphere. I mean, it was awesome to have so much art there because for those who don't know, we had our gala in an art collective building. It's one of the biggest. So just each month they have new art selection. So like we were surrounded by all of our Bailing Out Benji stuff and like beautiful art. So I think that was a nice creative and unique vibe, which is something I think that Bailing Out Benji also has in common.
Does anyone remember the official name of the art month?
Oh, I think it was some Latin American. Something in Latin American. Yeah. Not too sure.
Yeah. It was good.
And then we had dogs.
We did have dogs.
We did.
Always a big hit.
We had we were expecting 3 dogs, two dogs and a service dog, right? And then we got a bonus Great Dane and a bonus Shiba Inu.
Yeah.
So nothing wrong at all with bonus dogs.
No, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
The Great Dane was actually, his name is Bing, and he was featured in a movie this year with Naomi Watts and Bill Murray. And so, the movie, he was like the star of the movie. I think the first time I had met Bing at another animal welfare event, I didn't know that he was like in the entire, I didn't know the movie was about him.
Right.
I thought he was like the dog in the movie, and I didn't realize the movie is centered around the relationship with dogs.
He's the superstar.
But he was so good.
So good.
So sweet with all the every other dog there was little besides the service dog who's kind of medium sized. And he did great.
Had some cute videos and pictures of him interacting with dogs, especially Sophie, little Cavalier. They had just a cute reaction to each other. If you guys want to see that, it's on our social media. But I think the funny part was, too, I got a few pictures of him, like, laying on some of the furniture there, which is just so funny because, like, that's not something that you would see at, like, some, like, formal gala. Like, we're just very, like, this is just a friendly environment. And then, like, dogs are just, like, laying on furniture and just snuggling with people. And
the Great Dane taking over the space.
Yeah, it's just a great thing to see. It made me happy, and I hope it made other people happy, too.
Good thing.
And, like, he was such a hit. Like, people wanted to take photos with him.
Yeah.
And
he had his own autograph that he was giving out to people as his
giant
paw
print.
Yeah, it's cute.
I didn't get one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like we need one for the office.
I'll bring one because someone left one on a table and I took it home, so it's just at home. I'll bring that for the office.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I liked how, like, clearly, obviously, he's a really well trained and well behaved dog. But I loved how when he met Sophie in that video, he makes himself small. It's like he understands I'm giant, and so I don't want her to be afraid. And so he literally lowers himself down until she's comfy, and then he's like back up again, like, oh, friend, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was just the sweetest thing.
I also liked when he howled goodbye at everybody.
Yeah, he's talking to us.
That was nice. quite the exit.
Yeah.
For quite the dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So he was a fun addition. And then the bonus Sheba we got, that was someone who came down from Minnesota for the gala.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's been to our gala 2 years in a row now. And I don't know if her dog was here last year, but when I heard that the dog was just going to be hanging out in the hotel, we are not asking people to bring their own pets to the gala.
No,
We're not advocating that people show up with animals. But in this case, we knew that the dog had been rescued from a puppy mill, and the dog was super sweet and would get along well. So Gabrielle brought her a dog. But
I think we had told the venue where I think the question was like, is it okay if there's like maybe a couple of dogs? And they're like, I said, are you okay with dogs? And they were like, how many? And I was like, just like a couple. And we didn't get any pushback on the amount of dogs that we had. So yeah, not opening the floodgates for all the dogs, but it's good. And I know there's a studio right there in the atrium where the guy that owns the studio or is renting the studio brings his dog too. So they're familiar with dogs in the building, but yeah. Maybe someday we'll have a like all dog gala.
oh, that would be fun.
Well, then now we're limited dog.
Yeah.
All the people.
Maybe we just try to do like a dog walk, like a pack walk.
Oh,
you know, and it's like, hey, on Thursday we're gonna go on a walk. Bring your pups.
Yeah.
You know,
that'd be fun. Yeah, that's a good idea.
One more plan for the,
add it to the calendar.
Busy. Right.
Good news, it's about to be snowy and cold here, so we won't be doing any dog walks.
But yeah, so we're definitely in for a gala next year.
I think so.
This was a success.
Yep.
We raised over $20,000, around $20,000 after we paid everything.
Yes.
So
yeah, and our expenses this year were about a third of last year. So that change in venue was pivotal.
Right.
To get what feels like a better vibe. I mean, I don't know. I feel like in prior years people were commenting on the gala being good, but like, did we ever get comments about the venue or the food? And this year we got a lot of comments about the venue and the food for about a third of what we were paying before. So that's an upgrade on all levels. So yeah, that was really good. Y'all know I was very nervous about where we're going to fit and was all of our stuff going to fit, and it did. So yeah.
Well, thank you to Kristen for helping us reduce cost on that. I do feel like this year went pretty smoothly. Kristen at the helm. I think we had some great organizations. We made some great lists of like, hey, like make sure we have this, or like let's just go through this and just make sure we know what we're doing, like as step by step. So I think that was really nice, and that everything seemed to have run smoothly, at least from my perspective. It seemed pretty good. Easy setup, easy tear down.
Yeah, we had great volunteers that stepped up to help.
Fighter.
That was crucial. Having additional people there during the day to help set up was big.
We had Kayla's help,
huge help, and then having for the first time we had somebody kind of like overseeing our event volunteers, which in the new space we had 2 separate rooms. So it used to be all in one giant room. So the program was happening where the merch sales were happening and where the raffle and silent auction were happening. It was kind of easier to keep an eye on everything, but this year we had 2 totally separate spaces. So having somebody who was there to be a point of contact for the volunteers freed up a lot of your time during the night of not having to be that volunteer contact. There's still some quirks that we can work out there. And we'll talk to our gala planning committee, most of whom were there, and get their feedback too, and tweak some things, but that seemed to work really, really well. So yeah, that's every year we learn and improve the next year. So like all the people who are talking about how this was like the best gala yet, wait till next year. It's gonna be so much better.
And it's so funny because we always say like the public has no idea what the fires are behind the scenes. And we die on that hill every year. We're like, oh my gosh, it was a nightmare and no one else saw it. This year I walked in and I was like, wow, it was great. Did everyone have time to just talk to people? And Kristen was like, no, everything was wrong. I was running around like crazy, and I was like, oh no. So I was the not like just head in the clouds.
But that was
that
part of the goal. Like the goal is I want us to be able to enjoy the day and the night. And so it's working towards that. And so we definitely made some improvements from last year. we still have some improvements we can make next year to make that goal of like all 4 of us get to sit down, actually eat the food that we are paying for at the gala, talk to the guests who have come to the gala, and yeah, we're very close. That was it was good. So yeah, it'll be better next year.
Yeah. But it's always so fun too, like the conversations we get to have with people. Like, I'm sorry that I had more time to have conversations than you all. But
listen though, don't be sorry, because honestly, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the goal. And if you got to have that this year, that's one step towards. That's so much better than last year if you weren't able to have those. So at least we have freed up your time to be able to meet with people, which is important. That's people come. I know it's not always your ideal situation, but people do come and want to talk to you, right? Do want a piece of your attention that night. So to be able to free you up to do that, you should not have to be working at this event. And we'll keep working. Getting volunteers is the struggle always. But I think we're kind of discovering some different channels for volunteers. And then we have to work on making sure that we've trained the people enough to do the things. But the more we can do that, then the more our time is freed up to have those conversations. And, and I did get to have, like, I wasn't completely running around all over the place. Like I did get to have conversations with some folks as well. So that was fun. But yeah, and then getting to meet faces to names of people that I've gotten to talk to since I started. And Mindy's famous for, like, I've been to several galas and she's like, oh, you met them at the gala. I'm like, I don't meet people by rule. I have stranger danger. I don't like to talk to people I don't know.
Same girl.
But now I'm like, ooh, now I know these names and I've talked to these people. So getting to meet them in person was super fun and have conversations. And James showed up during the day while we were setting up. And so as I was walking across the room, I saw somebody coming in and he was wearing a Bailing Out Benji shirt. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, James, that's James. And he was like, Kristen. Like, we had never met before. And I knew exactly who he was. And he knew exactly who I was. So that was really fun to get to. And I didn't get to talk to him as much as I would have liked to. But that's okay. I'll catch up with him. I did get to talk to Robert. I was trying to think of like who else I had some good conversations with. There were some folks from that I know from outside Bailing Out Benji that came as guests of one of our sponsors, and it was halfway through the night, and I saw them, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys! I haven't even said hi, and I'm so sorry." So, just trying to make sure that we connected. Having Brandy there was a treat. Not a great reason for her to be back in town, but a treat to have her there. Our whole board in one room. Never happens because they're scattered all over the globe.
World.
I was gonna say country, but so
it's a nice little, I mean, it's weird to say, but it's always like a nice little homecoming. Like you didn't know James, but you knew him virtually. You had never met Rachel.
No, I know. I never our board member Rachel, but
you
never
have
actually
met her like once or twice, right? But not because she's not in our state, we don't see her very often. And so it's just a nice little, again, homecoming family reunion weird thing. We make the joke we're not a cult, and then people keep coming back, so we must be doing something right.
And as the new person, it's good for me to have those in-person contacts, because then it gets people to know me more than just a name behind an email. So then it just kind of always makes that communication easier when you've met somebody in person. So
did you all like where we set up the research signs this year? I felt like there were so many people stopping and reading them and taking the time.
They were very visible.
It's one of my favorite things is to be able to, like, I don't know, makes like a visual of our research and the things that we've accomplished, especially because, like, I guess our tactics changed a little bit this year. So this year's board looked a little bit different. It was more about like our research, like big projects, because our volunteers have helped out with that. We put in a lot of data and time into that. So it's always really fun for people to see, like, hey, this is also what we're doing behind the scenes. Like, these have been our wins. Like, look, I like the boards. They're my favorite.
Did you get to have conversations with people about some of the stuff?
No, not really, I guess. I do wish that I had more. And we had talked about maybe next year is, like, I can stand by the boards and, like, have some conversations with people, because, like, that's what I love to do. That's what I love to do when I go and I table and I get to talk to people about our research. And And so I don't know, I sadly didn't get to have a lot of conversations, but like I did have someone ask us like, how is our research used? That's always an exciting question too, because like, oh, people might not know that, but like our information is used by other organizations, not just our volunteers. Like it's used by legislators and the public. Like it's super helpful for people. So it's just super fun to be able to share that and to share with people too, like, hey, this is also like what you can come to us for. Like if you have any questions or anything, like we're doing this research and we can help in any way possible.
And the boards were set up like right as you're walking into our main room, like where the panel was and the food. And there was at one point I walked by and there were two ladies there who were friends of Jake. So they were at his sponsor table. And I see her go, puppies.com. That's where I got my dog from. And so as I'm walking by, I'm like, wait a minute. Let me talk to you really quickly. And I was like, that doesn't mean your dog came from a puppy mill. This is just explaining that we performed the first and only audit on this website. We're doing more. And then really explaining to her. And after I did that, she was like, well, I did go visit the breeder and I did make sure, like I did try to look into them as much as I could. But it was that first, like you see your website on there, you see the breeder name, whatever. And it's that instant reaction of I did something wrong. But we get to have those conversations with people and kind of try to remove that shame and guilt a little bit.
Yeah. And it is, I like that, like for our sponsorships at different levels, you get different amount of tickets. So like Jake that you mentioned that this one was with, the sponsorship level he was at, he got 16 tickets. So him and his wife were able to bring 14 people.
And they did.
And they're not, and they did. James, 16 tickets and didn't save himself one. So then he had to buy more tickets because he gave away all of 16 of his tickets. And they're bringing people to us who might not be our big followers. And so like this person, they're reading the board and they're making a connection like, oh my gosh, wait, I went to puppies.com. Is that bad? And then they're learning like, oh no, here's how it works. And here's what our research is showing. And here's what we're doing. And I just love that. I love being able to, I love it at team events, like when we do our tabling events and stuff, just getting to those people who for the first time are thinking about, I understand puppy mills, but what does that have to do with me? And then they're making that connection of, oh, this is what it has to do with me. And that to me that's amazing.
It goes back to our belief that we know is true. We all know someone who has bought a dog.
Sure.
And so if we're not talking to them about how to safely get a dog, then they are just going to go on their own devices, do their own thing, and who knows who they're going to support. And so having us be that resource is such a safe way to make sure the public is at least not supporting some of the most cruelest and inhumane facilities.
Alexis, you had mentioned the panel. So we could talk about, so part of the night we did our first kind of formal presentation of the night was our panel where the four of us, I shared financial stuff. You went next to talking about research. Obviously, you talked about volunteers. Mindy, what did you talk about? You just had an open mic.
Yeah, Jake asked
questions.
me like present, future.
Yes.
Stuff. It was just
big picture bailing out Benji questions.
Jake, our MC, did a great job of asking us questions that we sort of knew ahead of time what we were talking about. And that was fun. And I heard a lot of comments too about that, of people like really just loving to hear from us of what we're doing.
We planned it to be kind of like this.
Like
us sitting and chatting. So next year I think we're gonna try that again. Of course, every year we have tech issues. That's okay.
We'll figure out the mics eventually.
That's the one probably the biggest drawback of the new venue is they don't have a real great AV system. So that's something we have to figure out for next year. So it turned out being like, go up to the podium and talk, which is like, can't we just sit here and chat?
Presentation.
You know what though? The photographer got great photos of all of us speaking.
He did.
And like, I don't know. We had a
shout
great
out to Drew the photographer. Or you could just call him Drew because it's shorter. So now I will only call him Drew the photographer. Took great pictures. So and then we had kind of did a little break, and then we came back and did our volunteer awards, which we've talked about. I think we've talked about both of our volunteers of the year. We announced when we picked them on here. Do you want to recap a little bit with Robin, or I guess you can recap with Robin.
Yeah. So Robin was our volunteer of the year because she's really been instrumental in our online brokering project that we've talked about before. She's kind of spearheaded this and created a way that made it easier for us to audit online brokering websites. And so she really transformed how we do our research, helped us expand research, which has been something we really wanted to do because we know like the whole picture is very important. So being able to get our hands into this project because of Robin's amazing work, like we just felt like she was so deserving of this award this year because she's done so much for our organization. She's just a pillar, like I said. She's a pillar of our organization, like all of our volunteers. They really help us transform our work, and we wouldn't be nearly as far along, I think, without them. So it was great to celebrate her and specifically how she's helped propel our organization and research forward. So,
yeah. And then our youth volunteer of the year,
which was new.
Yeah. First ever youth volunteer of the year, Karsten. He did great.
Yeah,
he did.
He's a little shy, so we made a video introducing him and talked about why he really earned that title of Youth Volunteer of the Year for all of his help with the pet food pantry, for getting his family and friends involved, for being on the podcast. Speaking of, he brought Gus to the gala with him, and those two are just a hoot. They are a hoot.
Yeah.
I can't get over them.
Before Gus, can we talk about Karsten's award? I wondered if some of the folks at the gala saw the award and were like, what is that?
Why did this? Yeah.
So can you tell people about what his award was and why?
Yeah. How do you explain those things?
So normally our volunteers get a plaque. So like Robin, she got a plaque. Very, very nice. She gets to keep it forever. 13-year-old boy probably doesn't want a plaque to keep forever. And so when he was coming to our pantry events every Sunday, Jolene had this like a time sand thing. I really don't know how to explain it.
It's like
but almost
they're the flat
circle.
round ones, and you
Yeah,
flip them,
you
and the
flip
sand
it, and
drizzles down.
Creates new
and
patterns.
little mountains.
Yeah.
colors. And so I think that the grains of sand are like dense based on the color maybe, and that's why it separates. I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist.
Oh, you were
or
going
geologist,
way deep on this.
but it's just it makes really cute
geologist.
I Google puppy nose friends.
Yeah. They get it.
Yeah. So it's just a fun little thing. You like it's just an attention thing. You stare at it, the sand goes.
It's very relaxing.
It is.
Yeah.
So Jolene found one.
It is. Yeah. Well, first we broke mine here at the office.
I broke it.
Mindy broke it.
By we mean Mindy.
R.I.P. Also had no idea it was glass. Like the way
I
thing,
thought it was
assumed it was plastic.
plastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we know.
Yeah.
I broke it.
Yeah.
Very
And
glittery
then-
carpet.
And then Karsten was sad because it wasn't here to play with anymore. And so we were trying to think of a good something to give him as an award. And so we got him one of those, but bigger. So the one I had was like, oh God, I don't
6
know size.
inches, 8
Yeah.
inches,
Yeah.
and his
Sure.
was 12, I think is what we ordered.
It was a big one. And so he pulls it out of the bag and he goes, this is huge. And then immediately flips it upside down. And I was like,
And then the rest of the night, he was sitting at the table with his family, just flipping it over and flipping it back over.
It's the little
Like,
nailed
things.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that.
That was a
But
cute
the-
gift.
really cool part about Gus and Karsten, of course they're hilarious. Of course they're wonderful. They immediately jumped in to help. Not a single adult was like, hey, can you do this? And Karsten was holding places in line so we could get food.
Yeah.
Gus, I don't know how he got this role, but he elected himself to be
I wondered that
co-auctioneer.
too.
Yeah.
Did he just go?
He kind of asked me, and I said, take it up with Jake. And Jake must have said, sure, because then they just took off as the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
So,
They
yeah.
made a great pair. It's funny to see. It was like, because we had these little flyers too of like, hey, like these little donations, like $20 could buy our pet food pantry a bag of food, $50 to help with our FOIA request. And so Jake would ask Gus, like, make him feel bad, Gus, to like kind of like get like, but it was like funny because it was such a funny dynamic of like, you knew they were joking and they're just playing off of each other's like jokester energy. And so it created a really like I don't know, electrifying, funny. Like everyone in the room was laughing from watching them interact with each other and just the banter.
Come on, guys, give.
In the background, yeah.
I think now I'm having a flashback from the night, and I think the flyers are how Gus got involved, because he was standing up there and I had them.
Yeah.
And Jake was asking people, like, if you want to donate $20 for our pantry, raise your hand. And I peeled some off and I was like, okay, Gus, when people raise their hand, go give them one of these.
Yeah.
So I think I enlisted him to help hand out those flyers.
And then it morphed into him being like,
sold.
Yeah.
Live
auction. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if we prefaced that this was a live auction. So after the volunteer awards, we had our live auction. And Jake, our MC, who is not an auctioneer,
which is perfect,
led the live auction. And he did really well. And then in between each live auction item, we had these little flyers where you could raise your hand to donate $20 for the pantry or $50 for FOIA request or whatever. And so Gus became the runner and then promptly put himself at the podium behind the microphone with Jake to do the auction and was pointing out people as they were raising their hands.
Pretty sure there's a picture of both of them at the front pointing into the crowd at someone bidding.
Yeah.
And then somehow after the live auction ended, Gus prominently placed himself at the front so he could be involved in a lot of photos at the end of the night. So that was fun. He was in a lot of our team photos.
Yes.
They're the friend pair that is they're total opposites. And so you've got Karsten, who's the voice of reason and who is the the responsible one and the one that's making sure everything's getting done. And then you've got Gus, who is the life of the party.
He's the dreamer. He's got the ideas, and then Gus reins him in a little. Or
Karsten
reins Gus in a little.
Yes. They're quite the team.
They also did great at ring toss.
They did. Yes, they helped a lot of people win some wine bottles.
We were not giving children wine.
No,
that's all.
No. They just helped.
Letting them throw rings.
They're just better at tossing.
They had better aim for sure. They did really good. They were having so much fun over there.
And it helps to, that's what so our sponsors each got a free ring toss coupon with the hope that creates kind of that FOMO, like people see them out there playing the game and then they want to go play it. And so same thing with Gus and Karsten throwing rings, like it just gets people over there, gets action going, and then it catches people's eye and they want to go over too. So that was fun. I don't know if we'll do the ring toss again. We might come up with some other fun carnival game idea next year, or maybe we go back to we had a wonderful donor who gave us a lot of wine. So it worked out quite nicely, but yeah, it was fun and it looked nice with the cheers background. So
the first thing that popped into my head when you said find another carnival game is bobbing for apples. And I understand that is not ideal for a gala, but exactly. Exactly.
That's cute.
Bobbing for puppies. Hear me out.
Oh, okay.
We get a rescue group, box of puppies.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know where it
we
goes.
can go fishing for puppies and have like hot dogs on like a fishing line.
It was the go fish game that I thought of, where you like threw the thing over the wall and then somebody attached something to your clothespin and pulled it back. I'm like, how do you do that with a bottle of wine? It's a big one. Pull hard.
Yeah.
Not too hard. Crash.
We'll keep thinking. We have a year. We'll come up with better ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that it's over, like we're exhausted. Leading up to it, we're always like frustrated. I think this year there was less frustration, maybe. I don't know, but we're excited for next year. We hope everyone will join us again. And I will say back to that, like we don't have very many first-time people who come. We would love to have more first-time companies sponsor. If anyone listening is like, oh man, FOMO, I wasn't a part of the fun night. Like reach out to any of our sponsors, like East Village Spa, wonderful company. They love us. We do a lot together. Like talk to them about how you can get involved too. I don't know. We're a bunch of cool people and you should want to hang out with us. I'm biased.
Something I also want to mention, because like I'm a big fan of them. We release a shirt each year for the gala, and this year our gala shirt was kind of inspired by our online brokering project. We made a Paw in Order shirt with like the Law and Order kind of like slogan on the back, but like geared towards like our work in the puppy mill industry. And it was a really big hit with like our online sleuths who got them, and then we transformed them a little bit so that the public could also enjoy them with us. And so we did sell those at the gala this year. They seem to be a big hit. I mean, Jelaine went out like a few days after the gala and saw one of our shirts in the wild. So that was super fun. But I mentioned this because we still have some left for those of you who are interested. You might have seen them on our social media, or you can find the shirts on our merch website. They're super fun. I think they're adorable. I think it's so funny to just take Law and Order and turn it into Paw and Order. So you guys can get some of those while we still have them in stock, because we do have limited stock after the gala. But if that seems like something you might like, please check us out on our merch website for those.
And then Jelaine spent time designing a calendar this year for the first time.
Yes.
True story.
True story.
True story. Yeah.
You're like, I forgot about that whole thing.
That was a month ago.
Yeah. I know pre-gala is like, oh, was that this year? That was so long ago. Literally, we come back to the office yesterday and Alexis was like, what did I used to do? Before the gala.
That was my project.
Yeah.
Was I working on something besides gala? Anyway, talk about the calendar. We still have calendars for sale.
Yeah. So we had our calendar fundraiser where folks could send us pictures of their pets, and we would put them in our first ever calendar.
Spiders in it.
Spiders in
Louie's
it.
in it.
Louie's in it.
Leia's
Leia's in it wherever she went.
Yeah.
Plus many, many more. And birds.
Oh,
And
yes,
yep, there are birds in there too. And cats, dogs, cats, and birds. So if you have any other animals next year, send them our way.
Yeah.
But this year, we do have some of those calendars left for sale. They're $20.
Yes. On our store. $20. 2026 calendar. Get them while they last.
$6 or $7. I don't know.
Give us money, we'll send you a calendar.
And then every month next year, you get dogs or cats
Or birds.
to brighten your day.
Yeah. And
It's
little,
really cute. It turned out cute.
along with the national holidays, some fun little pet-related national days. Like, I think I saw Hug Your Cat Day the other day when I was looking through it. And I was like, that sounds like a good idea, but
Know thy
if they
cat.
like it.
Know thy
Right.
cat.
Yeah.
That could get dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's some doggy and do we have any cat shout outs? We have some birthday shout outs and some gotcha day shout outs on there. Yeah. Very cool. And then we still have our clearance t-shirts on our store. So when you're at our store looking at the Paw and Order shirts and the calendars, we also have our clearance shirts out there that pretty much everything besides those two items is marked down way down. So
And I
get 'em while
will,
they're hot.
I'll put that in the show notes this week. So one click of a button, you can have yourself a whole mess of Benji gear.
Yeah.
Be all
And
ready.
the Paw and Order shirt, I guarantee you, everywhere you wear it, someone will comment on it. We had a volunteer helping to set up for the gala who had come from a company here in town that does like, you can sign up to volunteer through the company. She had never heard of us. She didn't know who we were. She was just coming to help set up. And she walked away with a Paw and Order shirt because they were so cute.
So what Alexis was saying is like, this is our second iteration of the shirt. The first one was like for our online sleuth team.
Yeah.
We were all wearing those around to the store anywhere, and people stop and say, your shirt is hilarious. Like they want to stop and talk to you about it. So
Thanks for joining us this week for a kind of chaotic conversation, but it was good. It was good to talk about the gala, and we'll see you all next week.
bye.
Bye.